Ramping up, sir. We're on standby to evac the Moscow embassy.
Top of Moscow.
I don't know, but shit's getting real. It's some kind of coup.
Are we at least gonna have time for chow?
Wouldn't count on it.
Hey, come on, guys, let's go. Pick it up. What's the slide across?
I know things went sideways in Dagestan. Believe me, I wouldn't be sending your team out again so soon if we could avoid it. Raven's Rock just came out of the shadows full force. The group must have been preparing for this moment for years. Now they've taken the Kremlin, and with it the country. We've ID'd 2 major players. The first is General Bukharov. He's running the military arm of the coup. The other is the new president, Sergei Makhmedov. Raven's Rock has secured remarkable stability in a short time. Resistance forces are fighting back, but they're critically short of fuel supplies. We're gonna give them a little lift. Forces loyal to General Bukharov have seized drilling ships in the North Sea and may have sabotaged them. We need your team to secure the facilities.
What's up, everyone? CenterStrain01 back at you with more Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier. This next mission up is Deep Fire. Our objectives are to secure the drilling ships for Russian resistance forces. This is another after-the-fact commentary, and I will go over all of the tactical challenges that are required to complete with this mission. However, there is one tactical challenge that I was not able to complete, and we'll get through that pretty much at the very end of the video whenever the tactical challenge is going on. I don't worry about the weapon challenges. I'm just trying to obviously focus on the tactical challenges, which are undetected, to reach the drilling ship entrance without killing any guards. Roger Dodger. Once the timer is started, make it to the control room in under 2 minutes, which was a very hard one to do. And then the last one, of course, wreck or destroy all enemy vehicles during the gun ride. That was the one that I was not able to complete, and I'll go over it more later when we're actually in the game.
Russia's been starving for oil for a while. Nigeria makes a lot more sense now, and that's not going to change under Raven's Rock. The downside is that the soldiers who didn't sign on with the new regime are critically short of fuel. We've got some lines of communication open with them, but without oil, Raven's Rock is going to strangle them before they get started.
You've got a lot of unknown variables going into this one. Take an LSAT with X-ray optics. That'll let you spot and drop targets through metal walls. And one more thing, you drop any of my gear overboard, you're going in after it.
Alright, another thing here, as far as with the weapons go, I decide that, you know, to go assault. I usually go assault. You know, I like the assault weapons a lot, especially when you, you know, put up a nice suppressor on them. It kind of gives me exactly what I want to do. If it gets too hot, I can roll in there, I can take care of business, but at the same time, I can remain nice and stealthy. Still haven't unlocked too many assault weapons yet. I think they're all just tied to challenges or to other missions or something. But I decide, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with the ACR. I do not believe I have used it yet. So I'm going to outfit this guy pretty much as I can. I end up trying out the new optic, which if you remember, the Master Sergeant actually just said in the little speech he gave, which was the magnetic optic. So I guess you want to call it the backscatter. So you're able to use your kind of magnetic vision, your X-ray vision, that you can normally select it with the down button, which in this mission, since this is a night mission, it is replaced with night vision goggles. So I'm thinking, okay, so I love the magnetic vision, so why not be able to use it while I'm scoped in? Well, the problem with it is that the length that you're able to, the optics, it's not very far. I don't even think it's 4x. And usually when you use the magnetic scope, you only have a certain amount of distance you can see enemies. Well, towards the latter half of the mission, there's a lot of the enemies are more further away from you, so it is not definitely recommended from me to use that scope on this mission. Now, thankfully, you know, as there are around every Ghost Recon mission so far, places where you can switch weapons up and do things like that during the mission. So you'll see up ahead that I go ahead and do that, just because what I was using with it so far was giving me too much trouble seeing enemies that far away. And so I recommend not even going with it to begin with. Get something with either a 4x or an 8x scope, so you don't have to worry about the magnetic part, because yeah, you can see a good distance with the magnetic. The only problem is you cannot see the enemies. They're harder to see the closer they are, the easier they are to see. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. I go ahead and decide to use the huge, what I like to call the balls magazine, where you got the two huge round drum magazines. You know, it makes it look like you got a giant cock in your hand or something like that. Pardon my French and all that, but so I change a few things up here and get pretty much as I want. I'm not too worried about maneuverability. So far in the Ghost Recon, or at least in this game, maneuverability hasn't been compromised in any way, depending on which type of settings that you choose. I like to remain silent and stealthy, so I'm moving slow anyway. So I don't need something that's going to get me fast through an area. And I don't believe we've come up with anything that has made us move super fast through an area, unless, of course, we have a challenge to complete that you need to complete in under 2 minutes, which we do. But as you'll see with that challenge, I was able to complete it, and it was actually kind of easy, so you really didn't even have to worry about kind of just rushing through everything, because it's not an easy challenge, but at the same time, if you just take your time and kind of pick your moments when to go, that you'll see up ahead that it wasn't as difficult to do as you might think. So I think we're pretty much ready to go here. I'm just deciding on whether I want what kind of type of grenades and all that kind of stuff that I want. I'm thinking for some reason that we have smoke grenades available, which would have actually come in great use, but obviously you can see there are no smoke grenades. So we're going to go with sensor and fire. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I will shut up and let the cutscene play.
Alright, boys. We're up.
Good. What's up, 30? No smart-ass comment?
Yeah, 'cause my ass is numb. But I don't know if it's from the cold or from sitting on it for 3 days.
There we go. Now we're ready.
Let's do it.
Overlord, hunters on approach.
Acknowledged. Infiltrate the first ship. Once we get access to the control room and see what they've got set up, we should be able to lock both ships down.
Understood. Standard ROE, gentlemen. Engage as necessary, but don't raise any alarms.
Okay, so here you can see with the tactical challenges that we have. This first one here is we need to get through this area without taking anyone out. This is definitely not hard. I don't even know why it's a tactical challenge. It was super easy. But because this was my first time playing it, I decided I was just going to take it nice and slow in case there were a lot of enemies up ahead. But I really didn't need to. I probably could have rushed through this and been able to be just fine.
Right in front of us.
Some chucks on the left. Definitely want to make sure you get down, because I mean, I would assume they can't spot you unless you get down. It was pretty much like the same trucks in one of your earlier missions that you have to actually get down into prone position in order not to be spotted. So I love the nighttime missions. I think using the night vision goggles and just the way that the environments look at nighttime is just great. When you look at the tanker up ahead, it looks real. It looks like it's really there. You can tell you're in the complete north of the world, and it's just amazing.
Moving position.
Now, you'll notice that we don't have a drone on this mission at all. I guess the drones really don't work at nighttime. But as you can see, I'm using my the scope there, and see it's great to have magnetic vision when you don't have it because it's a night mission, but at the same time, you just cannot see enemies.
There's one more.
When they're just too far away.
Check your 9. Next to that container.
Now, of course, the night vision does a fairly good job at locating where the enemies are. But when you're lining up sync shots and things like that, and you've got your scope because they're a little further away, it definitely becomes a little bothersome. Now, I'm not sure if you'll see that, but it was something that I experienced while playing this mission. I honestly wish I could sit here and tell you that I completed all the tactical challenges, but that last one just really got to me, and I'm trying not to talk about it until we actually get to the point. but it was very frustrating.
Yeah, 2 of them. Enemy transport truck.
At the same time, I just got done beating Batman Arkham City Harley Quinn's Revenge, which was a very, very fun game to play. Kind of short, kind of break up a little bit of the gameplay. But as you can see, it's useless to work for anything that's further, you know, you can't see any enemies at all with this thing. So if you are going to use that, I mean, just only use it for when you're close to enemies.
Location. On our right.
Now, as I said before, you could probably rush through this a little bit faster pace than what I'm doing. But at the time I was doing this, I pretty much didn't know anything about it, so I just wanted to take my time, which is kind of a little bit more realistic.
Another one. Straight ahead.
But sometimes, you know, you don't want realistic. You're playing a video games because you want to get out of reality. Sometimes you need to just rush in there and have fun. I like to do that too, but sometimes, you know, these stealth games, they make me want to take my time and actually accomplish something from them. So that's why, again, I was very pissed off when I didn't get that last one.
He's moving. There's another one.
And also, think about how different this game would be without this optic camo. Would I be sitting out there in the middle, you know, just waiting, looking at enemies and things like that? No, I would be definitely more prone and things like that. So the optic camo definitely adds a little less tension when it comes to moving around stealthy. But it's still freaking cool, so. Because there's no way without optic camo would I go this close to an enemy and then walk right by him, you know. Only something you can do with that kind of camo.
Straight ahead.
But as you can see, we're already inside, so the actual tactical challenge doesn't complete until the doors start to close automatically. And it's not because you're alerted or you're spotted or anything. It's just because they were waiting for you to imaginally come in there without them knowing. You know, it's a video game.
You're gonna get spotted. Eyes on 2 more. Ahead of us.
Alright, you can hear the doors shutting now, so you know you've about completed that tactical challenge. See? Simply, very easy, no stress whatsoever. Now it's time to take out some of these guards in here because we're no longer on alert, or we're no longer, you know, mission failure if we get an alert. But definitely take your time. Now, I don't use any of my sensors here because I'm trying not to waste them, just in case there's something else that I will need them for. So we've already got 3 enemies marked. And normal people would probably go ahead and just, you know, after they see these 4 right here, think, okay, there's nobody else. But you definitely want, I always try to at least look around the complete environment before I do it. There's a lot of different spaces where enemies could be. Just anywhere where anybody can see a body, you know, you just got to kind of watch out anywhere. So we got 2 more enemies over here next to the door. Now they're facing each other and obviously further enough away, or should I say far enough away, that they're not going to be able to be disturbed by us kicking the shit out of these 4 guys. So I think it's safe to say that we can take them out without alerting the others.
Standing by.
Now, as you can see, from the distance I was with that guy, he lit up like a Christmas tree, therefore it was easy to use. So the magnetic vision for the scope is great to use when they're that close.
Ready to fire. Do it.
And that's all it takes to get by this first part of the level here. It was actually kind of a really short mission to me. It didn't take very long to complete this mission. The only really frustrating part was the end.
And if I wanted to assault boats, I would have been a SEAL. Nah, you ain't pretty enough to be a sailor. Ain't small enough either. How do they spend all day on a ship? See me, I need open spaces, not damn corridors.
30, police the noise. Overlord Hunter, what can you tell us about the control room?
It's by the main drill. You'll have to cut through the generator room to get there, and you're gonna hit a lot of friction on the way.
You got numbers?
Negative. All the mechanical equipment in there is wreaking havoc.
Now see, that is annoying. You know, in games like Gears of War, when you automatically had to kind of stop, slow down, listen to your earpiece and talk to the guys, they kind of made you go slow. Well, in this game, you just reach that point and then it just stops everything. I think that they should just not let you continue somewhere until the loading is done behind
I can't give
you.
you a good estimate. Standard procedure. Make a guess and expect more.
Roger that, Overlord. We'll take care of it.
But, you know, it's apples and grapes. It's not like a big
Not sure what's
complaint.
behind this door, gentlemen. Control room's on hold. Form up, get ready to rock.
Alright, so we got some more enemies up ahead and some more stealthiness. So obviously we haven't started any of the other tactical challenges yet.
Moving.
Now you can easily melee these guys
12 o'clock.
very, very easily without alerting anybody else.
Back.
And then again, I actually think it's a blast meleeing enemies.
There, to the
Different
left.
types of
I'm
animations
moving.
that they do, you know, sometimes they'll slit their throats, break their necks, you know. You never know what's going to happen.
Confirmed. Add 3 hostiles. 12 o'clock.
Alright, so this part was a little bit tricky. You know, it's not that it's hard because it's tricky, just because it's one of those where there's more enemies than sync shots and they're all kind of clustered together. So as you can see, we've got 2 guys up on the roof here. So I would suggest
On you.
marking both of them
Mark
because you want to
23.
take them out without having to worry about them. Then you got a guy on the left here. You got a bunch of guys that are in the middle. So try to
You're gonna get
set it up
spotted, Garrett.
to where you have easy access once you shoot one guy to move to the next. And that is what I try to do. That way we can set it up without setting off any alarms
Ready to
and
fire.
do it pretty
Do
easily.
it.
There you go. But
That's
don't
the
get
last
cocky and don't, you know, try to do anything more than that. I mean, just try to keep it simplistic, and that way you can move to the next section without causing any alerts. Alright,
Be
up
advised,
ahead.
Hostiles have started a lockdown sequence. Get to the control room and shut it down.
Definitely, this
Copy
was
that.
kind of a hard part, but not too much. As you can see, this is the part where we have 2 minutes. Now, actually, we have 3 minutes and 30 seconds to get there. But 2 minutes is where the challenge is. So we need to rush through this as fast as possible. So we're not thinking about stealth. We're not thinking about, you know, moving slowly. We need to hurry up. You need to make sure that you mark your enemies, okay? Give a reason for your ghost to shoot at people so you can get through unseen and unscathed.
I gotta reload.
But there's absolutely no reason to run through this as well. You can get through this without running,
Torn up. Take
as
cover.
long as you take your time and make sure that all the enemies are marked and that your teammates can take care of them.
Frag out.
It also helps to throw a few grenades. I mean, you got grenades, you might as well use them in case there's enemies up ahead that you need to worry about.
Contact. Get it. Engage my target.
But like I said, if you stay with your ghosts, they'll take care of the enemies for you.
Let's take it up. Stay on them.
We have till 1 minute and 30 seconds. So as you can see, we've only been through 1 minute and we're almost already there.
Frag out. Hostile down.
Throw a couple grenades to worry about those guys that are on the top.
Move.
Let your ghosts do the rest of the work.
We need to move.
There's a lot of enemies that come up ahead here. Now, one way you could go is obviously straight ahead, but you're going to have a lot more enemies to deal with. So let your ghosts worry about them and take the back way. No enemies right here.
Pick it up.
Make it piece of cake. All you got to do is enter this room, and then you have completed the tactical challenge. And don't get stupid and rush. Make sure you're prepared to aim and kill anybody that's in this room. Last thing you want is to get in here, get the tactical challenge, and then die just because you weren't, you know, aware of your surroundings.
Keep going.
So I'm thinking all we had to do was get in here, but once you get in here, you have to actually make sure all the enemies are dead on the outside too. So you might have to go back and complete, you know, the rest of the enemies. You've already completed the challenge, so you're not worried about getting into the room anymore. You just need to kind of go back. See, I'm kind of stunned here. I'm just like, well, do I need to go back and kill these guys? I guess I do.
Come on, let's move.
control room secure.
Good work, Hunter. Hack into the system from there. We'll shut down the sequence and access the other ship.
Roger.
Uplink in place.
Copy. Connecting now. All right, we're in. Our techs will take it from here. There's a helipad on the upper deck. Rally there.
Roger that, Overlord. Team, form up at the exit. We'll go up together.
So technically our mission is pretty much over. We just need to rally up, get to the extraction. However, on the way there's shitloads of enemies and a lot of action coming up for you guys that don't want to worry about stealth and just want to have fun. This is definitely the part of the mission that you're going to love.
You started up pretty good down there, Hunter. We're gonna have to adjust plans. You've got multiple teams of hostiles closing on your location. A Russian QRF is inbound to reinforce. Helipad's located at the aft of the ship, but you're gonna hit a lot of resistance between here and there. Fight smart. Keep moving forward. Choppers are in the air. They'll provide support when they reach you.
Understood, Overlord. We'll be as quick as we can.
Alright, so again, we're going to be gun blazing here in a few minutes. But we don't need to just yet. I still want to take out as many enemies silently as possible. Now, obviously, I can see one enemy here. But you never just shoot one enemy. You always kind of try to make sure to see if there's anyone else. Now, for some reason, none of those, he can see none of my ghosts. They're like invisible. So we're going to wait till he gets down enough. That way, in case there's anyone else, they can't see what happened. Because we got 2 enemies up here.
2 targets marked.
Always kind of just be prepared for anything like that. Now, I don't take these guys out just yet because I also want to make sure that there's nobody else around as well.
Fire.
And boom goes the dynamite. There you go. So you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Reloading.
Alright, well this is pretty much going to do it for the first video. This is a 2-part video. I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Thank you so much for all the comments and everything, and I plan to finish this game up as soon as I can. I've got a couple missions going on this weekend for the Army, but like I said, I plan on completing as much as I can and get it out to you guys. So we'll see you on the next video.